How's everybody doing today? I want to come out here and be positive and speak very nice to everybody today because I don't want to hurt any feelings. But what I want to say right off the bat is that Raven needs to come out and apologize for all the lies that she has told. Doesn't make me a bad person to say that she is lying. Okay? If I think somebody's lying, I can say that. I can call them out on it. They just need to, if they really care about it, they can try to prove that their lies didn't happen. But I can prove that they did lie, and I have done so in the previous videos. And everybody knows that. But look, we can sit here and talk about somebody who told wrong stories and changed their stories up. You know what I mean? And basically, the issue with all of that is usually when somebody is being questioned about something, they get asked multiple questions, right? And then they ask them those questions later down the date, later down the road. And they want to figure out if they change their stories because most of the time the people that change their stories are the ones that are going to be people of interest. It's just logic and process of elimination. If somebody keeps the same story and it adds up and it makes sense, then you can almost rule that person out, in some cases, right? But then there's other cases where the people change up their story and now it doesn't even make sense. And some things that they say could or could not put blame on certain individuals, or they're putting people at certain times in certain places saying they're there and then saying they're not there. That is where red flags start to arise. So there's nothing wrong about discussing that and calling people out on that. Nobody should be upset about that. They're the ones who presented this information to the public. So it is no reason for them to be upset over constructive criticism that happened on the things that they said. I mean, this sort of stuff happens all the time. When somebody goes on the news and says one thing, like a news reporter, and then the public, reacts and says, "Hey, um, based off of what you said, like you're actually wrong," you know. And then they come back onto the TV and they apologize to the public, and they acknowledge that they were wrong and that they retake back all of the stuff that they said and leave it at that. But that hasn't happened in this case with the people we're talking about, like, Raven. Um, and it's just weird that every time that they come out and they do another interview, it's more things that confuse the storyline that they originally started. It's like the new interviewers ask a question that the last interviewers asked, but this time she gives a different answer for each people. So those are the things that I wanted to point out, and it's not wrong. Nobody's wrong for looking at that, taking it in, and basically having a real good opinion. Like, it's not even an opinion. It's really just it's not an opinion because we're using what the person said themselves. So it's actually their point of view, their testimony, their own statements. You can look at somebody's statements and testimony and pick it apart. People say things out of their mind that they're not actually supposed to say and shouldn't have said. And those are the things that the real professionals look for so that they can figure out, hey, this person is speaking, but in their mind, they know what they have done or they know what they know, right? And we're looking for those slip ups that come out. And when those slip ups come out, it's going to make it obvious because it's going to throw off the storyline. Those slip ups are those lies. The slip ups are the change of stories. The slip ups are when they say this person was there and then they say they're not there. They heard this person say this and then they said they didn't say that. It was somebody else. And then it said, whoa, who's this somebody else? You said it was only these people here and that. You said everybody was at the kitchen, but this person was in this office. When did these office things come into play? And then they say, oh, they seal cookies in the office. I have been to a place that sells cookies. It's not Makedas though, but most places that sell cookies are going to probably operate in the same way, right? Generally. So when I order cookies from a different place, for like a birthday or something, they did not actually take it to an office and seal it up for me. They just put it in a bag or sealed it right there because it's right on the counter, the kitchen, or whatever. They didn't take it to the office room where they have a computer and all that stuff. They didn't take it to a janitor's closet to seal it. They didn't take it to the back alley or whatever, the bathroom or any other place in the business. They seal it up in the kitchen because that's where all the food is handled. And that's how they operate because those are the certain rules that they have, right? Basically, that's something that those changes of stories and adding these new details. Also, when somebody's trying to kind of cover up their tracks, they tend to give more detail to try to make it seem believable. So like saying details like, oh, they take the cookies to the office where the cousin was and seal it up there. It's a weird detail for her to add that in. And that's her, I believe, slipping up, trying to cover her tracks, and then adding a new detail to try to make it more believable for her story. But the thing is in the mind, it was a slip up, and she said that for no reason. She was freestyling on that part. She shouldn't have said that. She went off script. They don't want to look down at the piece of paper that they had in front of them to read by the script all the time. Because if they keep looking down, they're going to actually be seen like, obviously, hey, they're reading off of that. They're being coached. They were told what to say beforehand. This isn't a honest conversation. This was pre-planned. So that's one of the things, the reasons why she went off track and the slip ups were actually able to happen. And then you can look into the original interviews from the dad owner and also Raven, and that's where you actually, from the mother and Raven, they were both looking behind the camera to somebody else that was watching their mouth, trying to make sure that they didn't say the wrong things. And that person was the dad owner that was telling them what to say and what not to say. Because why would he need them to say certain things? Because she was looking at him while she was saying in the interview, the stay with me, Dolph, stay with me, Dolph. She was looking at the dad owner to say that. So if the dad owner is telling her what to say, why would he tell her to say the part about the stay with me, Dolph, if he claims himself that he wasn't there? That's where the slip up happens in this. That's what I'm catching. I mean, you guys got to catch this too. Because I'm not, my eyes and my ears aren't lying to me in this part. I'm seeing what everybody else sees, and it's showing you that she was looking behind the camera to get told what to say by the dad owner, and he told her to say the part about the stay with me, Dolph. So then that direction is coming from him to tell her, right? But how come he comes back and says that he wasn't even there and he had just pulled up and everything had already happened, you know, and he didn't even know it was anybody. So that's the confusing part, the slip ups, that mismatch. He's even trying to give her a storyline, but then they both switch them storylines and they're not good at communicating with each other. That's why all this is happening. And they all each say different things, you know? Nobody is stuck to like a good solid alibi on this stuff to clear them. That's why everybody's still talking, because they know, like, hey, there's been actually nothing that has came out to prove anything at this point. And it's a month later and these people are still talking to media and these reporters and bloggers, and their stories are still getting screwed up. So I hope the real big professionals in the city that's actually looking into all this stuff can see those things and maybe, you know, take it into account. They gotta at least rule everybody out, you know, and everyone that could have been involved in some shape, way, or form, they gotta make sure to go and double check on everything so they're not missing out on something. And that's basically all everybody's trying to say. But to put it in a nice way so that nobody's feelings get hurt, this is, I think, the best way to do it is to tell y'all like this. So that way, I'm not hating and I did not say anything negative. I was just clearly stating facts. And, but yeah, you could look at it however way you want. But at the end of the day, you know it's going to be one thing that doesn't really uh it's not supposed to lie, and that's the camera footage, right? Editing can lie, but the footage itself, the raw thing, is supposed to be non-biased. No, it's not supposed to be picking sides or anything, but it's a lot of factors that go into it. People can place the cameras in the way they want to make it show what they want, but it's still the number one evidence, basically. That footage would be the number one evidence. Because then we could, whatever we get in that, we'll be able to find something. I mean, we turn just the small pieces into connecting it into, we know the puzzle is almost solved, basically. So if we can get a little piece of the footage and see something, we're going to be able to look at shadows. We're going to be able to look at so much of these details. I know it's a lot of people that's very into the details, and they'll be able to see certain things that we didn't see at first, like that people didn't pay attention to. So, you know, I want those people to be ready to help all of us review that. So that way we can piece it together ourselves, and it's the public opinion, you know. All of us people got to come together, help our communities so no small businesses slip up and, you know, nothing goes crazy at their locations like that. So that's what I'm trying to say. If we can all get this figured out and then find a way, a solution to make sure that nothing has to happen like this, nobody has to resort to this kind of stuff, so that we can build our communities back up and help out the ones that's hurting, help out the people that's hungry, and try to make our area a better place so we could survive and enjoy the big bosses and be able to look up to the icons and make sure that the next generation is taken care of, you know. That's really everybody's goal and everything, the American dream. So I'm a big advocate for making sure everybody eats, you know. And that's all I want to bring out to y'all, man. This, you hearing this is official information right here. And yeah, come back and check out the channel on the next one.